Hi, welcome to your mat. Today we're doing a 1-hour meditative flow class. We're not going to focus on any particular posture or body part. The idea rather being to create a flow so you can drop mentally below the surface layer and really surrender yourself to a moving meditation. So as with any yoga class, your breath is going to be the most important thing, listening to your body and using your intuition. We're starting today in child's pose. So just drop yourself down, let your body relax, totally supported by the floor. Close your eyes. Most importantly, relax your shoulders and start to breathe exclusively through your nose. And right away, starting to pull that breath to the back of your throat, awakening Ujjayi Pranayama. So the goal over this next hour is to think a lot less, perhaps not think at all, and feel through the avenue of your breath, feel what you're feeling, and really start to explore the intelligence of your body. All right, so relaxed in your face, go ahead and extend your arms straight forward. On an inhale, rock up onto all fours, and then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Let's take a few cycles of breath here. Make sure your shoulder blades are drawing up your back, your neck has space. Your legs are long. And if, especially if you're starting in the morning, you might want to wiggle your hips around, walk your legs out, whatever sort of feels good to work through some of the kinks before we get some good heat flowing. And then actually, so along those lines, let's do this. Turn your right foot out 45 degrees, bend your left knee and really press into that right foot, like a warrior one foot or leg. And just keep listening to the sound and the rhythm of your breath. Make sure your mouth is softly closed, low jaw free of tension. And then come back to a neutral dog pose, heels behind your toes, legs nice and long, breath flowing. Turn your left toes out 45 degrees, bend that right knee and really press that foot flat into the floor. And hopefully just enjoying what you're feeling, enjoying what you're experiencing. Great, and then come back to a neutral downward facing dog, getting rivers of energy through your arms, through your legs. On an inhale, shift forward to plank. Shoulders right over your wrists. Lift those frontal hips up. So I don't know if we'll actually do crunches, but we are going to emphasize the core quite a bit. So from that low belly, exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Hips pressing back, heels melting low. So in a flow, inhale, come forward to plank, lengthening out through your front spine. Exhale, navel pulls you back, downward facing dog. So we'll continue with that. Inhale, coming forward to plank, make sure your palms are well grounded. Exhale, dog pose. Inhale, plank, drifting out. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 more of these. Inhale, coming forward, lengthen out through your front spine. Exhale, navel pulls you back. 2 more. Inhale, drifting out, micro bend those elbows. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last one we'll hold, not too long. Inhale, come on forward to plank and pause. So get those shoulder blades just sliding down the back a little bit. Gaze slightly ahead of you. Listen, take an inhale. Exhale, lower to chaturanga. Just hover in chaturanga for a moment. Your elbows are hugging in. Really make sure your shoulders are out of your ears. And then softly release down onto your belly. Release your toes. Inhale, mini cobra. Peel that chest up, nice and gentle. Exhale, lay back down. We'll do several more. Inhale, cobra number 2. So tops of the feet, all 10 toenails are grounded. Exhale, back down. Inhale, number 3. So just making sure there's no gripping, there's no tightness in your glutes. Exhale, bring it back down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, number 4. So perhaps taking it deeper, certainly nothing forceful. Exhale, chest down. This last cobra will hold. Inhale, come on up to a sustainable one and pause. So your elbows are hugging in. Your shoulders are looping back as your shoulder blades slide down. Now take one more inhale, scoop your breastbone higher, arch deeper. Exhale, roll over your toes back to downward facing dog. So if your personal practice is up dog, when we do these vinyasas, by all means, take up dog. Just make sure, even if you're doing cobra, that you take a moment to acknowledge chaturanga as you pass through it. So from the top, inhale, come forward to plank, gaze out slightly. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, peel it up, cobra or up dog. Navel pulls you back, downward facing dog. Okay, so let's flow through that one more time. Inhale, come forward to plank, elbows drawing in. Exhale, lower down slow. Long inhale, sail right up through your spine, hopefully feeling good. Exhale, over your toes, downward facing dog. So butt up, head down. It's a nice mild inversion with your head below your heart. Walk your hands back towards your feet. So feet are hip distance and parallel to one another. So keeping both feet flat. Listen, bend your right knee, walk all 10 fingertips outside of your right foot, and pull that left leg as straight as you can. So really starting to stretch that left IT band. Just root down through the inner edge of that left heel. Breathe. Those little subtle adjustments go a long way to really facilitating a deeper stretch here. So find that sweet spot. And then just cruising over to the other side. Bend your left knee, pull that right leg straight, and breathe into that right IT band. Not going too far, but certainly not shying away from a good deep stretch. And then come on back down the center line. Bend both knees a little bit. Lightly clasp your opposite elbows. Let's take a few breaths just to dangle, dripping, releasing your whole spine towards the floor. Again, maybe nodding the head a little bit. Wiggling about whatever feels good. Shifting the weight in your legs. Right, so keeping the crown of the head dripping straight down towards the floor. Interlace your fingers at the small of your back and stretch your arms up and over. At the same time, start to work your legs as straight as you can. So backs of the knees, doesn't have to be all the way. Backs of the knees spreading open. Shoulders out of your ears. So finding your deepest stretch. Take one more inhale breath. Release your hands to the floor and cruise back out to downward facing dog. So every step of the way, just favoring your breath over everything else. Really letting that guide you into the deepest meditation possible. From this dog pose, shift forward to plank. Upper push-up. Just feeling your belly ignite a little bit, lift up towards the spine. Put your right knee on the floor. Send your left leg straight back. Reach your right arm straight forward. Just make sure your foundation is pretty solid so that left leg is coming up off the mat. So a little element of balance here. As you reach out of your mid-body, take an inhale, and then exhale, bring your elbow and your knee together, finding a little bit of a cat stretch. You're rounding into your back. That's it. Inhale, lengthen out, really reach. Exhale, contract in, elbow and knee come together. Inhale, reach it out, last 3. Exhale, curl it in, belly lifts. Inhale, reach it out, last 2. Exhale, contract in. Last 1, inhale, extension. Exhale, round in, just hold that for a moment, left arm is strong. And then listen, inhale, extend your limbs. Keep that right arm extended. Next, exhale, bring that left knee to your left elbow. A little bit awkward, yes. Inhale, extend that leg. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, 3. Exhale, elbow. Inhale, 2. Exhale, elbow. Inhale, last one, extend. Exhale to your elbows. Hold that for a moment. Left arm driving. And then inhale, extend that leg back. Hold that with your tail soft. Lift your limbs a little bit higher. Last inhale. Put everything down. Tuck your toes under, press back, downward facing dog. Gathering energy from your palms into your low belly. On an inhale, hips press back. Glance forward, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, glance out, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. From your feet, inhale, fly to standing, arms reach straight up, standing tall. Hands to your heart, exhale. Inhale, circle your arms up, glance through the ceiling. Dive forward as you exhale. Inhale, glance out, flat back, keep this length. Step to plank and hold upper push-up. So shoulders right over your wrist, belly floating. Softly put that left knee on the mat. Send your right leg straight back. Reach your left arm straight forward. So here we go again. So just making sure that foundation is stable, that right shoulder blade is plugged in. Extending out of your mid-body. Take a full inhale. Elbow and knee come together. Exhale all that air. Inhale, reach it out, 4. Exhale, round. Inhale, 3. Exhale. Inhale, 2. Exhale, elbow and knee. Last one, inhale, reach out, get really long. Exhale, curl it in, feel your core, right arm driving. Inhale, extend your arm and your leg, pause. So keep that left arm extended. Next, exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to your elbow. Inhale, 3. Exhale. Inhale, 2. Exhale. Inhale, last one, reach. Exhale, knee to your elbow, right arm driving, face soft. And then inhale, extend that leg back, hold without being stiff. So take these extended limbs, float a little bit higher, inhale, put it all down. Tuck your toes under, press back, downward facing dog. Charging your low belly with energy. On an inhale, hips press back, float to the top of your mat. Inhale, glance out, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, empty out. Inhale, fly to standing, reach and energize your fingertips. Hands to heart, pull that energy back down. Inhale, sweep it up, getting a flow. Dive it out, exhale. Inhale, halfway up, step back and lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Energizing your forearms. Inhale, hips press back. Float to the top of your mat. So picking up the pace slightly. Inhale, glance out, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, fly, reach feet through fingertips. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, sweep it up, sink that tail. Dive it out, fully exhale. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Vinyasa. So people, yogis in this room, people at home, if at any point you want or need to skip vinyasas, you can. You'll see in a little bit of time we will start to skip vinyasas. We're not necessarily going to do them in between every side. One more round. Inhale, hips press back. Float to the top. Inhale, glance out. Press the balls of your feet. Forward fold, empty out. Big inhale, fly to standing. Extend your side body. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, sweep it up. Last of these. Dive it out, exhale. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Vinyasa. Lift your right leg up behind you. So it looks really good. You want to maintain neutral hip, so that right hip bone is shining down, just keeping you in your core. Those toes are pointing down. So stretching through that left waist and that right inner leg. Take an inhale. Use your core. Step that foot between your hands. Stay on your left toes. You're in a high lunge. Pull your heart center forward. Run your arms down your ribs. You have an aerodynamic shape, focusing on lengthening quite a bit through your front spine. Now from your feet, inhale, rise to crescents. And immediately find that place to rest your gaze. Find your breath, full inhales, softening, tenderizing with those exhales. So you're not a stiff, frozen sculpture. Feel your frontal hips lift up. Your shoulders soften, your ribs humble. Now taking your gaze skyward, as you melt down deeper, reach up higher. One more inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. So stepping right back to that. Lift your left leg up behind you. So just holding that for a second. Palms evenly grounded. Lengthening that right waist. And that left inner thigh, inhale, use your core, quietly step that foot through. You're on your right toes. Pull your chest out, decompress, thread your arms down your ribs. Really feel some energy coming through the crown of your head. Now, roots subterranean, inhale, rise to crescents. And feel the bottom part of your whole spine, but especially the bottom part of your spine lengthening. So that tail, it's like it has a weight, is drawing down towards the floor. The crown of the head floats up, and all the while the shoulders stay relaxed out of your ears. All right, so belly zipped up, ribs soft. As you gaze up through the ceiling, take one more inhale, fully express. Exhale, vinyasa, or skip it again, right to down dog. See? So even these guys skip vinyasas. Lift your right leg up behind you. So we're going to change it up a little bit. Your palms are grounded. Leg is long. Take an inhale. Bring your knee to your nose. Stack your shoulders right over your wrist. Feel that belly working. Leg back. Inhale. Knee to your right tricep. You want to make sure those palms really stay flat. Leg back. Full inhale. To your left elbow, which you may or may not touch. Everyone's different. Leg back. Full inhale. Use your core. Step that foot between your hands. Again, stay on your left toes. Pull your chest out. Run your arms down your ribs so you have an aerodynamic shape. So you have a little softness in your tail, a little lift in your low belly. Staying low, send your arms straight forward in line with your ears without climbing those shoulders up. Now, strong and grounded in your lower body. Inhale, rise to crescents. Just softening your shoulders, softening your face. Lean forward, launch into your version of Warrior 3. So you can keep those arms reaching straight ahead, maybe like Claire, open out to the side. Just find some freedom, space, lightness in your body, and a flow in your breath for 3. You've got a lot of length and brightness in your heart center. 2. Now, energetically expanding, getting larger. Take one more inhale, fingers lightly to the floor, release your head, release your neck. So there's absolutely no tension there. Walk your hands in to frame that right foot. And by the way, that standing leg may not go all the way straight, but you're certainly moving in that direction. Now, reaching through the ball of your left foot, perhaps lifting that leg a little bit higher. Take one more inhale. Feet together. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. So feet are together, heels slightly apart. Bend your knees deeply, drop your hips down. Inhale, Utkatasana. So welcoming yourself to our first chair pose. Really zip up those inner legs. Soften your tail and lift your belly off your thighs. And even here, make sure those ribs stay soft. Right, so this is it. As you squat down deeper, reach even higher. Last inhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up behind you. Right, so this is our point of return, really extending long. Take an inhale, knee to your nose, shoulders right over your wrists. Leg back, full inhale. Left tricep. Leg back, inhale. Right elbow. Leg back, full inhale. Without making a sound, step that foot through, stay on your right toes, pull your heart center forward, run your arms down your ribs. So ideally you're hovering a little bit above that left thigh instead of resting on top of it. So belly lifted, supporting your spine. Send your arms forward in line with your ears and be really mindful that you're not creating tension in the neck, upper trapezius area. Now from your roots, inhale, rise to crescent. Shoulders falling away from your ears. Very light in your body. Lean forward, launch into Warrior 3. So making the most out of that small amount of surface area called your left foot. So as you root down through the inner edge of the foot, zip up through that entire inner leg. 3. How's that breath? Never hold it. Stay in that flow. Now soaring through the air, take one more full inhale, fingers lightly to the mat, release your head, release your neck, so your gaze is in and up towards your belly button or maybe some point on the ceiling. Standing leg is strong, you're pressing the floor away, and that right inner leg is nice and long. Now perhaps lifting up higher, take one more inhale, feet together. Inhale, flat back, forward fold. Bend your knees deeply, drop your hips down. Inhale, Utkatasana. So sitting down into that chair pose, belly lifted. Bring your hands into prayer in front of your heart. Hook left tricep to the outside of your right knee. So first twist of the class. Got quite a bit of heat at this point. Make sure your hips and your heart, hips and the crown of the head are reaching away from one another. Your chest, your collarbones are open. Now keeping those hips down low, come back to chair pose, arms reaching up, and then just switch sides. Hands in prayer, hook right elbow to the outside of your left knee. So if you're finding at any point that your breath is compromised or you're really struggling, back off, take it down a few notches. Now, keeping your hips low, come back to chair pose. This is where we really build up some nice purifying fire. And without climbing your shoulders up, as you squat down deeper from your waist, reach higher. Last inhale, forward fold, legs are straight. Inhale, glance out, flat back, vinyasa, or straight to dog pose. Right, so this time, without lifting your leg, just step your right foot between your hands, stay on your left toes, incorporating everything that we've covered. Long inhale, crescent. As you reach up, melt down into that left quadricep. Warrior two, as you exhale, spin that back heel flat, and right away, following your breath, set your gaze out of your right middle finger. Just find your lines of energy, accentuate them, staying low in your lunge. Turn your right palm towards the sky, take it into a reverse warrior. So this ultimately, at this point, is just a transition. So stretching that side body, listen, take an inhale, bring your forearm to your front knee, sweep your left arm up and over your ear. So make sure you have adequate length through that right side body as well as the left. Have strong and rooted through your feet and your lower body. Inhale, come back to warrior two and just hold warrior two for a second. Soften your chest, soften your shoulders. Wrap your left arm behind your back. Try to grab your right inner thigh. Reverse warrior again. So melting that left hip a little bit lower. Stretching that right side body. Last inhale. Cartwheel, hands to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Step your left foot through. Stay on your right toes. Taking your time. Long inhale, fly up. Fully express crescent pose. So really energize those fingertips. And then open up to warrior two as you exhale and throw some roots down, subterranean. So make sure your left toes and your knee are tracking straight forward. We'll call that 12 o'clock. Your tailbone softening down, belly floating up. Turn your left palm towards the sky, reverse warrior. Reverse warrior number one. So getting that really nice side stretch. Inhale. Gracefully rest your forearm on your front knee and seamlessly reach that right arm straight up and over your ear. And just hopefully through all this, just staying in the flow of your breath, really rooting yourself in your body. Slowly inhale, come on back to warrior two. So without losing any sort of depth, that knee is tracking. Wrap your right arm behind your back, reversing that warrior again. So tracing that line from your left hip bone through your ribs and fingertips. Last inhale, cartwheel through a vinyasa or straight back to downward facing dog. So it's nice to change it up a little bit. Several vinyasas and then skipping a few. So let's flow through that. Step your right foot through, stay on your left toes. Inhale, crescent, finish that inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot through. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Energize those fingertips. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, vinyasa or right to dog pose. Downward facing dog. Go ahead, and so you might want to walk your feet slightly closer to your hands, so maybe a half an inch, something like that. And then take your right hand, reach around, grab the outside of your left calf. So make sure clearly that that left arm is strong. If it were available to go deeper, you could slide that hand further down towards your ankle or just hang out where you are. So you're going to twist a little bit. You're looking underneath that left arm. Just make sure you're not straining your neck, your lips, or your jaw for 3. And you've got both heels just stretching, melting down into the mat. 2. Now softly, put your right hand down on the floor. Put your right knee on the mat just below your hip. Spin your left heel flat. Supported side arm balance. Float your left fingertips up towards the sky. All right, so at this point, your back foot is flat. Those people at home, if you want to stay right here, you absolutely could. Now, if you want to go a little bit further, float your left leg up so it's level with your hip. Dorsal flex that ankle. So those toes are pulling back towards your chest and your face. Now, maintaining that height, and that's really where the challenge lies, in addition to the balance here. Maintaining that height, bring that leg forward 90 degrees to your torso, or as close to that as you can get. As you bring that leg forward, try not to stick your butt out behind you. Keep that right hip hugging in. Use your core for 3. Really energize, reach through that left arm. 2. Now bring that leg back down the center line. Seamlessly extend your left arm out over your ear, shining that palm towards the mat. So make sure this extension in your arm doesn't prevent your heart, the center of your heart, from peaking just a little bit towards the sky. For 3. And pressing out of that right shoulder. 2. Left arm back up. Inhale. Hand flat to the floor. Now keep that left leg reaching back. If it's been on the floor, go ahead, lift it up. Neutralize your hips. And then send your right arm forward. And back to this position, make sure your foundation is pretty solid. All right, so as you press the floor away without tensing your neck or holding your breath, simultaneously open your limbs out to the side. And you may not, so Mary's opening pretty wide out to the side. You may not choose to do that. Just a little bit goes a long way, and then I'll keep you connected to your core. 3. Make sure your front spine is lengthening. There's no rounding in your back. 2. Now come back down the center line, reset, soften that tail. Bend your left knee deeply with your right hand. Reach back, grab the top of that foot or that ankle, and really start to kick that foot back and up. Now, this is a really deep back bend. You want to stay out of your low back. So feel your pubis lifting towards your navel, your core engaged, so you can really control where that curvature, where that back bend goes. For 3, keep kicking. Now, breastbone lifting up. Take one more inhale. Reach down the center line. Take these extended limbs. Lift them a little bit higher. Inhale. Put it all down. Thank goodness. Dip your belly. Lift your heart. Inhale. Cow tilt. Never felt better. Round your back. Exhale like a Halloween cat. Again, inhale, arch, spread the collarbones wide. Exhale, round, spin that tailbone down. Inhale, this time as you arch your back, tuck your toes, downward facing dog, lift your right leg up behind you. So this will be the first time we're doing it in this class today. Externally rotate that hip, stack it on top of the left. Bend your knee, point your toes, option to flip your dog. If you're doing that, make sure you're really safe in your left shoulder, that it's stacked right over your wrist. And then if you can, just gazing forward, really reaching through that side body. Take one more inhale, gracefully return to one leg, down dog. So neutralize those hips, take an inhale, bring that knee to your left elbow, and then thread that leg through. Open your left arm towards the sky, and just let the inside of that left foot drop down. Option, like Claire, to float that right leg up. 3. Make sure you are pressing out of that right shoulder. There's no collapse. Everyone, take one more inhale. Left hand back down to the floor. Send that right leg back. Take an inhale. Knee to your chest, shoulders over your wrist. Now from your core, add a teeny pulse. Knee up, hold. Up higher, hold. No rebounding. 4, pure core. 3, 2, 1. Leg back, full inhale. Step that foot between your hands. Spin your left heel flat. Come up to warrior 2 as you inhale. So believe it or not, we are almost there. Let's take a few breaths here in warrior 2. So maybe even close your eyes. And based on what you know about warrior 2, just making subtle adjustments. So fingers coming straight out of your shoulders, that left rib cage pulling back a little bit. So low in your lunge, option number 1, which we've already done, rest your forearm on that front knee. Option number 2, take your right hand outside of your front foot. So you could be palm flat, which is quite a ways to go, or be up on your fingertips, or if you have a block handy, that's nice to put your hand on that. All right, everyone add that left arm, reach it out over your ear, and breathe. So it's postures like this that try to rob us of our breath. So stay in that flow and just scan your body to see if there's any places where you're gripping unnecessarily. So make sure, absolutely, that outer right hip is hugging the center line. That front knee is pressing open into your arm, and your heart is revolving towards the sky. For 3, relax your face. Use those exhales to soften. 2, now slowly inhale, come on up to warrior 2. Stay with me here, keeping that front knee bent. Reverse warrior. So staying here for a moment, just so you know, we're going to go into a standing split. So visualizing that. As you reach through that side body, take an inhale, cartwheel, hands to the floor, standing split, launch that left leg up. So it's just one fluid motion. Release your head down. So here we are again. Maybe you want to hook your right forearm behind your calf. Maybe you like to hook both arms behind that leg. Last 5. So press out of your right hip. It's kind of easy to settle into it. And from that power, really energize through your left leg. Now from that left hip, this is it. Lift up, find your edge. Last inhale, feet together. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left foot back into a high lunge, so one leg's distance. Right away, drop that knee to the floor. Bend your left knee with your right hand. Reach back, grab the top of that left foot. And start right away to arch. So peel away from the center line, find a bit of a back bend here. And then option to lower down to your left forearm, either on the floor, on a block, or just keeping your hand as it is. So as your right knee peels away from the center line, make sure you maintain flexion in that ankle. And don't underestimate how much you are leaning back. So first lengthen through your heart, and then let that right chest and shoulder open. 5. Breathe right into the belly of that quadricep. 3, relax your jaw. And then without snapping, release the foot, Frame your front foot with both your hands. Slowly, Ardha Hanumanasana, as you pull your hips back, lengthen that right leg, flex that ankle. So walking your fingers a little bit forward, on an inhale, reach your chest out, and then exhale, fold into that leg. So another really intense stretch. So maybe close your eyes and visualize that you're literally massaging your breath up and down the backside of that leg. And every now and again, just sneaking that right hip crease back. So just finding that edge, maximum sensation, flirting with it without going too far. Last 5. So it's totally personal. It's a fine level of feeling. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. And then re-bend your right knee coming forward. Tuck your left toes under. Press that leg straight. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, coil it up. Downward facing dog. All right, so once again, perhaps walking your feet slightly closer to your hands just so your 3-pointed dog pose is a little more stable. And then reach your left arm around and grab the outside of that right calf, going as far down as that outer ankle. So really get that river of energy through your right arm, pressing out of that shoulder. And twist, looking under that arm. 3. Maximize that stretch through the back sides of your legs. 2. And then softly, put your left hand on the mat, put your left knee down, spin your right heel flat, and float your right fingertips up towards the sky. So stage 1, you could stay right here, left hand, knee, right foot on one line, all the way down your mat. Stage 2, a little more core. Float your right leg up, parallel to the floor. So Mary could go just a little bit higher, working that abductor. All right, so maintaining that height. Take that leg forward as far as 90 degrees, but doesn't have to be all that way. 45 degrees could suffice. Make sure you are breathing. 3. And reaching a lot of energy through those right fingertips. 2. Come back down the center line. Seamlessly reach that right arm out of your ear and create more space between your fingertips and your heel. And then rotate your ribs a little bit. Left rib cage under. 3. Right rib cage towards the sky, just a little bit. 2. Right arm back up. Inhale. Hand flat to the floor. Now keep that leg reaching back. Close that hip, so neutralize. Send your left arm forward. So firming up your foundation, pressing the floor away. At once, open your arm and your leg out to the side. My recommendation is just to go a little bit so you avoid the collapse of your chest and the collapse of that right shoulder. So keep pressing the floor for 3. Front spine long, relax your jaw. 2. Come back down the center line, softening your tail. Bend that right knee deeply, reach back, grab a hold of whatever is available. You want a pretty firm grip. And then kick that foot, but activate your belly so you can encourage that curve higher up your spine. So more towards your thoracic, out of your low back. For 3, so foot consistently kicking. And with your sternum lifting up towards the sky. Take one more inhale, reach down the center line. And working the muscles of your back, lift these limbs higher. Inhale, put it all down. Dip your belly, lift your heart. Inhale, cow tilt. We'll stay in motion. Round your back, exhale, nourishing your spine. Inhale, arch, open the chest and collarbones. Exhale, round, stretching the backside of your heart. And then inhale, as you arch your spine, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up behind you, so home stretch. Externally rotate that hip. Bend your knees, so it's up to you whether you hang out or flip your dog. So be mindful of that right shoulder. So anytime you're bearing weight, make sure you have some space there. Your shoulder blades are scooping the backside of your heart. Now reaching out, take one more inhale. Gracefully return, one leg down dog. Neutralizing your hips. Take an inhale, knee to your right elbow. Thread that leg through, peel your right arm and chest towards the sky. So maybe floating that left leg. 4, press out of that left shoulder, really energize through that right arm. So heart bright and open. One more inhale. Right palm plants flat. Send that left leg back. Take an inhale. Knee to your chest. Make sure your shoulders stack right over your wrists and add a pulse from your core. So very small movement. Make sure there's not swinging happening. 4, 3, 2, 1. Leg back. Full inhale. Step that foot between your hands. Spin your right heel flat. Come up to warrior 2 as you inhale. Just relax your face. Just feel that you're consolidating energy in towards the central axis and just letting the edges of your body, your skin soften a bit. So front knee tracking with your toes, that back inner leg zipped up. So maybe forearm on your front knee, or perhaps you want to take your left hand outside of that front foot. So make sure that back foot, the pinky edge is pressing. That leg is zipped up to the groin. And then add that arm, reach it out over your ear. So that outer left hip is hugging in, the tail is burrowing in towards the center line. In opposition, that knee is pressing open into your arm, that's it. And your heart is revolving towards the sky. So we're almost there. Try to relax your face. 4. Just make sure your left shoulder is out of your ear. 3. You feel the strength in both of your legs. 2. Now slowly inhale, come on up to warrior 2. So contemplating your exit. Reverse warrior. So melting down through that right hip. So visualizing where you're going. Take one more inhale. Circle your hands to the floor. Standing split. Press strongly out of that left leg to launch that right leg up. So how high you lift that leg is totally personal. A split just means your legs are moving away from one another to whatever degree. Right, so back of the neck is ironed out. Maybe you're holding onto your left leg. Last 5. And just breathing quality cycles of breath. 3. Now this is it. From your right seat, lifting up, kissing that edge. Last inhale, feet together. Inhale, flat back. Forward fold. All right, so hopefully this will feel good. Step your right foot back into a high lunge, so one leg's distance approximately. Drop that knee down as you bend your right knee with your left hand. Reach back, grab a hold of that foot. And if you're having difficulty doing this, you're not alone. So that quadricep can feel quite tight. If you need to use a strap or a towel, that's also an option. All right, so option to go even further and lower down onto that right forearm. Just check in. Do you have any roundness in your back? If you have any roundness in your back, remove it completely. So lengthen out through your chest and arch back. So really open up through your chest. Let your knee fall out to the side for 5. So close your eyes, direct your breath into that quad. 4. Using those exhales to tenderize. Without snapping, release that foot. Frame your left foot with both your hands. Ardha Hanumanasana. Slowly pull your hips back at that left leg completely straight. And on an inhale, reach out, navel and chest. Exhale, forward fold. So focus more on lengthening the front spine than on laying your torso on your leg. That's it. Shoulders out of your ears. Just a little ode to that left hamstring, giving it some love. So notice, because it should be pretty intense, at least I experience intensity when I do this. Notice if there's any gripping that's bubbling up elsewhere. Your brow, your lips, your jaw. Last three is totally relaxing that effort. And then re-bend that left knee coming forward. Tuck your right toes under. Press that leg straight. Listen, step back to plank and pause. I almost made it through a class without forearm plank, but not quite. So lower down onto your forearms, shoulders right over your elbows. I know these guys are really excited about it. I hope you are too. Lift your frontal hips, engage your core. See, a lot of core work and we haven't done one sit-up. All right, so keeping that stability, turn your right forearm in, angle it in a little bit, and take it into a side forearm plank. As you do, take your left hand to your left hip. So feet are stacked here. Make sure that right arm is strong, just maybe angling the arm in a little bit so it's slightly more stable. And then from your right hip, pulse the hips up, slow. Up. So working that waistline, again, make sure that right shoulder is solid. You're pressing out of it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to both your forearms. Reset, tuck your hips, and turn that left forearm in. Roll to the other side, right hand to your right hip. So shoulder blades hug into the back body. And from your left hip, pulse your hips up, up, up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to both your forearms, holding last 20 seconds. So lift those frontal hips up, lengthen your tailbone. And most importantly and most challenging is taking the tension out of your neck and upper trapezius. So make sure those shoulder blades are sliding back. Last 10 seconds, breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. 5 more seconds, the release is going to feel amazing. And without sticking your butt up, press back up onto your hands into a plank. Downward facing dog. Arms strong, legs long. Lift your right leg up behind you. Take an inhale. Slide into pigeon as you exhale. So we don't have a lot of time to stretch, so find your pigeon, lay your torso out. If the floor feels like it's too far to stretch, you can put a towel over a block. You can use a bolster. You want to be really comfortable here. Make sure your hips are neutral, so you're going to feel, and it's all really subtle, that right hip crease drawing back as that left hip revolves forward. So just making sure you're on top of that left knee, you're on top of that left foot, you're not rolling to the side. And at this point, just staying with Ujjayi Pranayama. Just feel your neck emptying out, your shoulders. Let's take one more cycle of breath here. Got another treat for your hip. And then walk your hands up So lean into that right hip, what you're basically not supposed to do. Circle your left leg all the way around. Let's go straight into double pigeon on the left side. So we are switching sides. Left ankle bone on top of your right knee. Slide that right foot forward so you have shin stacked on top of shin. Now if you feel like your left knee is sticking way up, it's awkward, it's too intense, just drop that left foot down. Can I use you to demonstrate? Just drop that left foot down in front of that shin so your shins are crossed. And then inhale, everyone reach your arms up, lift up that low belly. Exhale, reach your chest in front of your shins, hands down, head down, breathe. So see if you can maintain flexion in that left ankle. There you go. One of the deeper hip openers. Just breathing right into that very large joint ahead of the femur, rotating fully inside. So just check the status of your face, your shoulders, and at this point in the practice, significantly slowing down and smoothing out your breath. Couple more breaths here. And then release, sitting up. So go ahead and now officially drop that left foot in front of your right, so your shins are crossed. Place your hands on the floor in front of you and just step back to down dog. Or however you transition best. So downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up, take an inhale, slide into that initial pigeon as you exhale. So knee to that left wrist. All right, so get it while you can. We're not here very long. Let's check in that your hips are neutral, you're not leaning to one side or the other. Maybe you can feel the right side of your torso growing a little bit heavier. I'm still pulling that breath to the back of your throat, Ujjayi Pranayama. Let's take one more full breath. And then slowly walk your hands up and leaning into that left hip, so collapsing, circle that right leg all the way around. So it's up to you. Ankle directly on top of your knee instead of in the hip crease, flexed, or shin in front of shin. So slide that left foot forward a little bit. So when you look down, you see a triangle in between your legs. Inhale, reach your arms up, lift the low belly. Exhale, extend out, chest over your shin. Hands down, relax your head and your neck. Breathe. This is our last stretch. Last opportunity for Ujjayi Pranayama. Just bringing your 1 hour meditative flow to a close. A couple more breaths. Just make sure those shoulders are soft, your jaw is released. Just breathing into the backside of your heart. One more full cycle of breath. And then release. And just lay right down onto your back. Shavasana, arms out to the side, palms up, feet falling away from one another. Thank you so much for joining us. You at home, please take as much rest as you like. I'm going to go around the room and adjust the yogis here. Namaste.